Welcome friends, it's Kevin Zhensei back with part 2 of the 25 factors that affect your college admissions decision. No intro necessary, we're going to dive straight into it. So last week we talked about the things that are not in our control. Today we'll be talking about the things that are sort of in our control. Give me 1 or 2 more weeks and I'll also cover all the things that are in our control. As you can see, it's a long list. I might have to split it up into 2 videos, but we'll see how it goes. Before we begin, guys, if you could toss me a quick like, comment, and subscribe, that would really help out the channel. I'm hoping to push out content about college admissions and high school advice at least twice a week. These videos are sometimes a little bit on the lengthy side, so please watch in 1.5 or double speed. Sort of in our control, what does that even mean, Kevin? Basically, this means that there is one component of the factor which is totally in our control and one component of the factor which is in someone else's control. Now, the key thing to note here is that it depends on you and another human being. So this is really important. This is really a game of persuasion, right? How can you persuade people to give you awards? Maybe you have to apply for them. Maybe you have to talk to the teacher or the mentor, understand the judging committee and what they're looking for. Same thing with recommendations. They're given to you by an advisor, a mentor, a teacher, a friend. And then summer programs as well, you're going to be convincing some kind of application committee. Same thing with extracurriculars, guys. It all comes together. When I mean they're sort of in our control, I mean like winning a championship is sort of in your control, or becoming captain of a team is sort of in your control. I need to make this point clear. You have to put in the work first, then get accepted and recognized for your achievements. So it's not enough to be a good person or be a really outstanding person, but other people need to see you putting that time and effort. Don't just work really, really hard in a cave and hide it from the world. No, guys, you need to sell yourself. You need to showcase all the good work that you're doing. Now, while you do have to put in the work first, it's also important to begin with the end in mind. And what I mean by that is, let's say you participate in some kind of activity. I want you guys already to be thinking about, can I win an award? What are my odds of becoming a leader or getting club head for this extracurricular activity? So you guys want to think about, how can I climb to the top? What are my odds of getting there? At the end of the day, my friends, the college admissions game is a probability game. Every single factor that I presented to you guys, if you're able to take advantage of those factors, then the probability that you will get into a great school increases. By the same token, you guys will also want to be thinking about how I can win an award. What are my odds? What are my odds of becoming captain or club head? Is it a really competitive club, and am I going to have to beat out several upperclassmen, or is the title basically going to be handed to me? I just want to make it clear that I'm not advocating for you guys just running away from difficult activities. Oh my gosh, Model UN has 50 kids. I'm never ever going to become a captain. I might as well just drop it. That's not the attitude I want you guys to have. Instead, I want you guys to consider, wow, there's 50 people in this club. I might have to put in a lot of work to become a leader. But if you became a leader of this club and you started winning awards, that would also look really, really impressive. The college admissions committee, guys, is not dumb. They know if a really small club has 5 kids and you put yourself as club head. They know if there's a much more established club and it's harder to become a leader, and yet you climbed the ladder and you made your way to the top. That looks good too. Moving on to awards. Probably one of the most misunderstood factors. A lot of excellent students don't know that you basically need, yes, I will say the word need, a national or international award in order to be competitive and stand out in the Ivy League admissions process. Too many times I just see kids really focus on the small scale of their school, take as many APs as possible, raise that GPA. You guys need to literally think outside of the box. And by the box, I mean your school, your locality. But Kevin, how am I supposed to win a national or international award? I have no talents. I have good news for you. I am also not an Olympic athlete. I did not do world-class research, but I did do a few other things which really helped. And the trick is actually to utilize summer programs. Yes, that's right, guys. Summer programs qualify as national awards or even international awards. Some examples of summer programs that I did: I went to Alaska with National Geographic and did wildlife conservation with them for free. I applied for full financial aid and I got it. Same thing with Cornell. I took a business course there. I talked about that in the previous video. Also financial aid. Oxbridge academic programs. I went and studied in Salamanca at the oldest university, I think, in Europe. For a summer, learned Spanish, met a ton of great people, also on full aid, and I went to Global Citizens Initiative, which took place at Harvard. There were 24 scholars from like 16, 17 different countries. That's a relatively new program started by actually one of my friend's moms. You guys should totally check it out. I'll add the link in the description below. I don't want to hear any excuses, guys. I'm poor, I don't have any time, these programs are too selective. I don't have time. It's in the summertime. You literally have the entire summer. It's too competitive. That makes no sense either. You can sit down in the wintertime, and what I would do is I would just apply to 20 to 30 summer programs. I'd get into like 5, and then I'd have my pick. I would also do multiple summer programs in one summer, because these end up being 4-week, 6-week programs. You can totally fit 2 or 3 in a summer. In fact, I did the Nat Geo expedition in Cornell the same summer, and I did the Oxbridge academic program in GCI in the same summer. Guys, there's definitely time. It's just a matter of planning accordingly and making this a really big priority. This is one of the most common mistakes that I see. Asian parents just end up dedicating the summer to what? Studying for the SAT and the ACT. Guys, that doesn't take longer than a month, really. If you're gonna do something with your summer, I recommend taking advantage of these programs or starting an initiative. Those are pretty much your best 2 options. These days, I coach students to do both at the same time. You can attend a summer program like Cornell, summer school, and build your initiative virtually at the same time. Crazy. Okay, so that's a really cool cheat code. Summer programs qualify as national and international awards. I studied abroad in Spain. I did the Global Citizens Initiative. Students from multiple countries attended that. So yes, it was selective and it counts as an international award. There's also academic, athletic, extracurricular awards. Try to get as many awards and honors as possible. Try to get a mix of them. I don't know what to say. The more awards you have, the better. The last thing that I'll say about summer programs before we continue is that oftentimes the application process for many of these programs look very, very similar, which means you'll need some sort of recommendation from a teacher as well as a written application. But the recommendation part is kind of important, so make sure that you guys are on top of the summer programs. I'd say start looking into them November and December, and then you can request a recommendation from your teacher. That usually takes minimum 2 weeks to get in order. So really guys, winter break, spend that time drilling down on applying to 20 to 40 summer programs. I did that every single year from 9th grade to 12th grade, and thank goodness I did, because especially at a boarding school like Exeter, where so many people were focused on becoming heads of clubs within the Exeter environment or within the local environment, it's really important to show that you have an interest in the outside world and that you're accumulating these kinds of unique experiences. I'll make an entire tutorial about applying to summer programs closer to the winter break, step-by-step breakdown on how exactly you should apply in order to maximize your chances. Similar to starting an initiative, your summer program is a cheat code, because you're able to leverage some of the stories and experiences you've gathered from these various summer programs and write about them in an application essay to college. You can also take some of the summer program experiences that you've lived through in 9th grade or 10th grade and write about them as an application when you apply to programs in your 11th and 12th grade. So it really is this kind of snowball effect. And once you get into a few summer programs, maybe I would say 2 or 3 early on in your high school career, it's going to be super duper easy to get into other ones later on, because they'll ask you for your record and other activities and awards, honors, programs that you've participated in before. Extracurriculars, you guys are a total beast. I could probably spend hours talking about this subject, but I won't. I'll spare you. Instead, I'll drill down on the 2 most important aspects of an extracurricular. It's gonna sound harsh, but it's the truth. Okay, so extracurriculars, as I mentioned previously, are sort of in our control because other people can determine whether or not we win awards or if we're rewarded for our hard work and effort with a captain club head position. Now here's my advice. Your 9th grade year, you guys should be trying all kinds of clubs. Like, I mean, at least 5. I've seen some kids try maybe even more, 7, 9, 12. It doesn't have to be clubs, but it could be really activities in school, out of school. Hopefully you've been engaged in some kind of extracurricular activities throughout elementary and middle school as well. You're able to sustain that throughout high school. That's great. Once you reach 10th grade though, you should be thinking, what are my odds of becoming a club head? There's a lot of things to consider though, but if you don't really enjoy it and you don't think your prospects of becoming a leader are very good, you should probably drop it. The tricky part comes when you do enjoy it, but not entirely positive about whether or not you'll end up hitting that leadership position. That's where things tend to get a little bit murky. In a perfect scenario, you would be a part of 5 activities and probably be in charge of 4 of them. And those 4 activities would revolve around each other. You guys just don't want to be in a scenario where you have 7 or 8 different activities and you're not in charge of any of them. That is not good. I think I created a slide to really illustrate and hammer this point home. So we have 2 guys, Bruno and Giovanni. By the way, guys, if you know where these names come from, it's from one of my favorite anime shows. Feel free to jot it down or take a guess in the comment section below. Anyways, like I was saying, we have Bruno, we have Giovanni. Bruno is a part of 5 or 6 different clubs, and he works really, really hard as a member of the soccer team, debate club, Model UN Jazz Band Chess Club. Maybe he's dabbled in a few awards here and there. Maybe he's in charge of 1 or 2 of these clubs, but for the most part, he's doing it because he really enjoys it, hasn't been thinking about awards or honors or leadership positions all that much. Truth be told, Bruno could be doing 7 or 8 clubs and still not look as competitive of an applicant as as Giovanni. Who is Giovanni? What is he up to? He started a Zoom reading program during quarantine. He has this whole initiative where these older kids read bedtime stories to younger students. He does Science Olympiad. He's the head of it. He's won an award. He's the editor-in-chief of the newspaper. So as you can see, he's very involved in these academic, literary activities. So that's his edge. Bruno doesn't have an edge. It's difficult to look at Bruno's activities and know where exactly he'll fit in on a college campus. Giovanni, on the other hand, could make a pretty compelling case for becoming a humanities major. You can see that he's more of the academic type. And guess what, guys? Giovanni is probably working 0.8 times as hard as Bruno. Bruno is running around like a chicken without a head, just pouring hours of energy and effort into all of his activities. He's totally overworked, he's stressed. It's probably his junior year and he isn't getting any sleep whatsoever. But look at Giovanni! Giovanni is fat chillin'. He's reading a book. This is how you get into Ivy League colleges the easy way, guys. It is a strategic play. I need to just continue repeating this because the college application game is a matter of strategy. The main takeaway for part 2 is to get noticed and receive external validation. Why is this so important? Well, if you're a part of all these different activities and you claim that you work really hard in your essays, but you don't have this award to back it up, or a recommendation, or a leadership position, there's gonna be a little flag that kind of pops up in the admissions officer's mind as they read your file. There's an enormous chasm between saying that I enjoy this, I've worked really hard on it, and getting recognized for it. Having one volunteering award that says you've committed over 1,000 community service hours, you guys don't need to say I'm a good person or I really care about this activity, because the award speaks for itself. This is an especially potent tactic since now you get to dedicate that really scarce essay portion of your application to talking about another dimension of your personality. So guys, accumulate awards, try to be in charge. You must get recognized for all the tremendous hard work that you guys are doing. This concludes part 2. I'll be back with part 3 later on next week. Stay posted. If you guys haven't seen part 1, the link is up there. And as always, stay safe, keep it real, and do you. Peace, guys.